everyone, it's Shel C from PaperOcotilloStudio. I just wanted to share with you day 20 of the ATC a day 2020 challenge for June. That's making artist trading card every day in June. Brought to you by Art Joy of Sharing and the Art Joy of Sharing live stream channel. So I was showing you guys how I cut a credit card up to use with my stencils to put glitter paste through a stencil. You can also use any other type of paste, but I have 4 colors of this glitter paste and I've hardly used it and it's just so cool. I really have had fun with it. So I added this glitter paste to several different cards. And the one I'm going to use today actually has the red glitter paste, but I didn't have the footage for that one. It's just, the same thing through a stencil, the Stencil Girl stencil with dots on it, and I put the red glitter paste through just like I did just now. So the glitter paste is made by Gina K Designs and I believe iCraft Thermoweb. I think that's right. And I will link it in the description box below. I have green, orange, red, and pink. So pretty. So cool. And that's the one with the red. Then there's one with the orange. I also have a couple of metallics that I did as well. A metallic gold, a metallic black. I was just, messing around with different backgrounds. So the background on a bit underneath the glitter paste is watercolor through a stencil. I think it's a Tracy Bautista stencil that has a lot of different design on it. And I just used watercolor paper, a large piece of watercolor paper, because that's a large stencil. And I laid the stencil over the watercolor paper, and then I just took different types of different watercolor, and I put it through the stencil. And in some cases, it ran under the stencil, still made interesting pattern. In other cases, I got the actual, like the circles or whatever. Then I took that big piece of watercolor paper and I cut it all up into smaller ATC sizes. So I probably got 6 or 8 out of the piece. So now I have something that I cut out of a magazine. It's a lighthouse and the building that goes to the lighthouse, part of the land and the bush that's near the lighthouse. And I thought that looked really cool on there. I'm not sure what made me think that. I just really liked it. I liked the way it looked. And so I glued my magazine piece, which I'd already cut out previously. I probably tried it on something else and then didn't use it. I have a little plastic box that has some magazine bits, and sometimes they're cut out, sometimes they're not. They're just, things. If you have a magazine, or in case your mom has a magazine, has a bunch of magazines, and some of them need to be discarded, you can just go through and look for words, look for little clip out things that you might find interesting on something someday on an art journal page or your planner pages or ATCs or altered tags. These are all great for that. And I just have a little plastic box that I found the other day in the pile full of these type of things, and that was what that was from. So one thing that I really like to do when I stick something onto something is I like to make a shadow around whatever I stuck on so that it looks like it's part of the background. So I'm using a Faber-Castell Pit Artist pen in a medium blue, which is just slightly darker than the background, the watercolor in the background. And I'm just putting it around all my stuff and blending it out with a water tank brush. The ink that's in that type of a pen is India ink, and you just have a few seconds in which you can blend it. So I'm doing that around all the stick-on stuff, and then I also intuitively do it in other places as well. I end up making shadows under the red dots and kind of making them even more dimensional. They are already dimensional because they're a paste that's been put through a stencil, so they stand up. You can feel them. You can feel the texture of them if you feel the card, but since you guys can't do that, you're just going to have to trust me. They actually have texture. And I also put it in some other places where I think like something doesn't quite look right. It's not finished or it needs to be finished all the way. I also end up taking that marker and running it all the way around the outside of the card to give kind of a frame and to color the white edges of the card, make it look more finished. So I'm imagining that this background is like maybe some stormy skies, and maybe this lighthouse is on a peninsula that's jutting out into the water. So you have some water on the other side, and you're kind of seeing both sides. Maybe there's some fluffier clouds up at the top. I don't know, some type of a moody sky, I think. Just looked cool to me. So that's what I'm doing. This is, I don't know if I said this is day 20 of the artist trading cards a day, every day in June. Um, so that means there's only 10 days left. And I have been making so far a video pretty much every single day. In fact, I think there is a video every single day this month of an ATC. This one was quick because the background was already made. And then the stencil paste was just another layer. So this is definitely mixed media. There's a lot of different layers on there, but they were done at different times, and I didn't have the footage for all of them. So this video today is pretty short. Maybe I should have made tomorrow's card and put them together or something, but you know, people seem to be enjoying having a little tidbit each day that they can watch with their morning coffee or their evening martini or whenever you guys watch. So down here, I did want that to look like water, but I liked how it was kind of light. Like there was some lighter places, like maybe there's some waves or some light on the water. So I didn't want to completely color it in. So I just kind of sort of colored it in and blended it. And this one red spot down at the bottom doesn't really make sense, but it's already there. There's nothing I can do about it. I could have maybe put the whole magazine piece lower so that it was lined up with the bottom, but I liked how it made it look like it was an island or a peninsula or something, so I didn't want to do that either. So that red dot at the bottom is just kind of random. But as you're making the layers and you don't know what you're making with them, you just do it, and then whatever you get is what you get, and you don't pitch a fit, right? So if you guys are enjoying this series, I hope that you will give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment or question below, subscribe if you haven't already, turn on your notification bells, share this on Pinterest or Facebook. All those things really helps my channel. So I remind you every time, you're probably sick of hearing it, but I remind you every time to do those things for me, and thank you very much. So I stared at the card some more, and then I finally decided that I would maybe do just a little bit of detailed pen work. Really, there wasn't a whole lot to do. I like the background. I like the glitter dots. I like the magazine image. I just, you know, what else should I do to it? It's just kind of, this is just a little bit too easy. So I used a Micron Pigma pen, which is a permanent pigment ink in a really, really tiny nib, and just kind of highlighted some of the lines to make them just a little bit darker. And then I did the same thing with my white Posca pen on the bricks of the lighthouse, as well as the light at the top, just kind of brighten them up, make them stand out a little bit more. Yeah, I also wrote some words, and if you are a child of the 80s, you will know these words. 99 red balloons go by. There was a song. Part of it was in, I think, German. 99 Luftballons or something like that. But every time I looked at the card, I'm just like, yeah, those look like the red balloons. And apparently the military was ready, and they saw the red balloons go by on their radar, and they started a war because of the balloons, because some kids bought some balloons and let them off in the morning. That's kind of the gist that you get if you read the words from the song. So I don't know, it was a silly little song, and I just thought that that's what I should write on there. So that card is done. I added a little bit of white splatter. I put a piece on the back that I do where it tells who I am and all my social media, so that when I send it to somebody, they'll know who made it. Glued that down, wrote the number, and then, yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Bye.